Hello and welcome. My name is Danielle and I'm an ambassador with Rada Publishing House. Today I'd like to welcome a very special guest, Kory Muniz. She's actually a client of Maya's and a contributing writer to Infinite Cosmic Records, Sacred Doorways to Healing and Remembering, a book of healing by Maya Versanilla, also known as Maya the Shaman. I'd like to congratulate you, Kory, as you've been chosen to contribute your session with Maya. And before we get started in your interview, I'd like to actually go over for those who are unfamiliar with Maya's type of work and who she is. Maya is actually the original creatrix of this particular modality, and it's a very unique special healing method that stems from the Lemurian code healing. In Maya's book, Infinite Cosmic Records, Stories of Healing and Remembering, it is produced and published by Rada Publishing House. And the Infinite Cosmic Records is really a little bit more than just your average healing modality. It's an adventure into many lifetimes and essentially like infinity, essentially. So basically, what a lot of people are comparing it to is a hybrid of a bit of a past life regression, Akashic record, or if you're familiar with with Dolores Cannon's work, you'll get an understanding of what I mean by that. Some people also use it as a form of shadow work and inner child healing, ancestral lineage work, and so on. And according to Maya, it just all depends upon the client's intention and what they'd like to bring forth in their session for healing. Maya likes to add that the most interesting part about the Infinite Cosmic Records is that it's a step into the cosmic realm where clients are able to go into a more multidimensional reality. And in some cases, people will go to other planets or possibly be a different being. And in some cases, people will connect with their spirit guides and receive messages that way for their healing journey. Others like to kind of compare it to a bit of a cleanse or a purge because you're releasing those energies or densities, but without having to have that crazy trip like ayahuasca or those experiences that some people like to use for journeys. For myself, I did experience a session. It was really phenomenal. I went into an era of the medieval times. So there's so many possibilities on how this could play out for you, but it truly just depends on your initial intention going into the session. So with that being said, Kory, I'd just like to welcome you again. It's nice to have you back here today and chat about the upcoming book.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here with you and to share my experience.
Yeah, and I know everyone's experience is a little different. So in your case, when you went into your session, what did you start off as your intention with Maya?
Well, my intention was to go deeper into my fears and disappointments so that I could clear any stagnant cellular memory or blockages that might be in the way of my higher self progressing. I felt I needed to understand why I kept going back to feelings of self-worth. All of my spiritual work over the decades, I've done a lot of it, and I still find myself comparing my experiences to other people and kind of think of myself as not capable of expressing my knowledge as my professional peers are able to do. Part of was comparing my experiences to others, not as being as worthy or good enough due to the fact that I've never been able to be hypnotized. I don't see staircases when asked. I don't see colors or light or anything like that. What I do is I have a feeling, I feel. And so that's always been extremely frustrating for me. And going into it, I really didn't know what to expect because of that.
Yeah, that's powerful. And I'm sure because you're so honed in on what you're feeling, it makes you very intuitive and empathetic as a person. So when you went through the doorway, how many doors did you see as she guided you through the process?
Well, she specifically prompted me through 3 doors. And like I said, I didn't see them. I didn't walk through them. And I think it's really important to share that because I believe there are other people out there that have felt the same way that I did.
Right.
And you kind of don't go into these kind of experiences because you kind of feel like it's not worth your time. But that certainly wasn't the case working with Maya.
That's amazing. And could you share with us a little bit about your doorway without going too much into details?
Well, I was prompted, she asked me to see if I could feel the warmth of the candle, because the most wonderful thing about Maya is that she was very loving and patient with me. She kept reminding me that whatever I experienced was fine. So she asked me to visualize the candle, and I couldn't see it, but I could feel the warmth of it. So that made me feel at ease that something was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so she explained that the candle and the warmth was a connection to my pineal gland.
Okay.
And that work needed to be done on that area. And that didn't surprise me at all, because a lot of the pollution and things that are going on calcify the pineal gland. And I live in Los Angeles where there's a lot of that. So every time she asked me to do something, it connected to something very deeply within me. And I knew that we were on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to go back, because what I saw with the first one was I was able to see color, which was a breakthrough for me. So I didn't see the stairs, I didn't see the door, but I did see a color.
Okay.
And it was a very, very deep royal purple that I saw. And as Maya led me through that process, that purple formed a circle. And she said that it was a bubble, and she wanted me to move into the bubble. And I did feel this pulling. Like I said, it was a feeling. It wasn't something that I saw. I felt like I was being pulled into the bubble. And then I felt really just deep, deep sadness in my body. And Maya assured me that that was the universe gifting me with the removal of all of this sadness. And then asked me to listen for any messages that I might feel. And I was given a mantra, which is, I feel sadness and I release it.
Aww.
And so I kept saying that over and over. And for a minute, there were this on the outskirts of the purple circle were spikes, these black spikes, and they kept trying to infringe on the purple. And as I used that mantra and said it again and again and again, the black spikes just dissipated, and the dark purple became more of a lavender.
Oh, okay.
Softened. And so I took a deep breath, and I just got more trust and feeling that these emotions that I was going through at the time, I mean, this deep sadness was like, I started crying, and I couldn't help it. And it wasn't like I knew specific things that I was crying about, but I knew that I was just releasing this, that it was a very deep, deep wave. It was like a thunderstorm was coming and then releasing, and the sun was coming out. That was the kind of feeling that I was having. And Maya explained to me that the negativity and the sadness and the darkness and the fear was being vacuumed out by the universe. And I could feel that. I didn't have to see that. I could feel that on a very deep level. And so going through the second door was just about trusting. I kept hearing like little words, kind of like what a mother would say, you know, you're going to be okay, everything's fine, you're perfect just the way you are. Again, you know, there was this pulling to the door, and I allowed myself to be pulled into that. And what the message was for me to take out of that space was I was hearing escape.
Wow.
And I was hearing that very loud. My eyes started to move under because I was in a meditative state. My eyes were closed, and I was just like these flashes of things, but my eyes were just moving back and forth, and it kind of worried me. And so I brought that up to her, and she said, it's just you were calibrating.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, I can feel it. I know that something is happening here. And it was almost like the left and the right side of my brain was starting to work together.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like my nervous system was calibrating, and I felt this deep release. And then again, the tears started to come out. I sat for a few minutes just to leave all that toxicity behind and just let that happen. And the whole time Maya was very loving and caring, and it's going to be okay. And this is what the universe wants for you, and you're going to be fine. And just words of love. And the third door that I went through, and the last door was, I think, kind of the cherry on top of the cake. As I was laying on the floor, and she kept asking if I was seeing anything, and I wasn't really seeing anything, but I was actually feeling the lower part of my body from my hips down, oscillating in like a figure 8.
Oh, wow.
And I couldn't control it. It was, my body was just going like this. And it wasn't scary. It actually felt like an internal massage, if that makes any sense. And I kept hearing, be the water, go with the flow, go up, go under, go around. And that is exactly what I needed to hear, because being in LA during the time of the shutdowns, we were one of the worst with restrictions. And I felt like I was walking into a wall. With no matter I wanted to do, I had my business just started picking up before the lockdowns, and I lost my business. And so all that work that I had put in, and all that energy and those relationships had all fallen to the wayside. And I didn't think that I had a way to change it. And that last door and that last experience broke through something in a way to where I kind of got back my juju. I felt like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to come out of this okay. The universe is supporting me. I'm going to be like water. I'm just going to go with the flow, and I'm going to put my energy out there for opportunities to come to me, and I'm going to accept them, and I'm going to do good work. I know that I have something to give to this planet and to our existence right now. And it was such a firm, almost like I had like a cheerleader team going, yeah, go get them, and that was my experience from the last door. So I know it's a lot different than a lot of others experience when they're doing some kind of past life regression. But it definitely what I needed. It was peeling back more layers in a way that I could understand it, which is through my clairaudience and through my feeling.
Wow. That's amazing. I like that. Not everyone everybody has different ways that they use their gifts. And I like that your testament is coming from a place of the intuitive feeling side and audio. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because a lot of people that I've spoke with do visualize, but it's good to have a different example as to how you could experience this, because not everybody will experience it the same. Yeah. That's amazing. And I'm excited to hear the details of all, the whole chapter. Did you at any point feel like you were of this world, or was this out of this world type of energy? Like, did you go to a timeline, or
No.
was it anything? Okay. So it's like pure consciousness that you were.
Yeah, it was more internal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was more being in touch with my higher self than
Okay.
listening to other guides,
Right.
which I guess was the message was that I need to do that, because I know whenever I don't follow my spider senses is what I call it. It excuse me, it doesn't work out. Things just don't flow. But
Right.
if I listen and I follow my heart's directions, then that's when things are the best. And I think that if I had somebody tell me a long time ago what I'm telling people in my chapter and what
Mm-hmm.
Maya helped facilitate, I would have been years ahead
Mm-hmm.
um, in my awakening, my personal awakening, because I wouldn't have stopped myself because I can't, see things like that. And
Right.
it's really hard when somebody does see things to try to understand that my feeling of things is just as accurate.
Right.
It's just different.
Exactly. Oh, I relate to that. I understand, Kory. That's
Mm.
amazing. So how did you feel as a participant, like through the session? How did you feel Maya did as a facilitator? How would you describe her style of practice?
Oh, she's just wonderful. Like I said, I came in kind of with a lot of angst about it, and oh, this isn't going to work out, and am I wasting her time, am I wasting my time? um, and she just made me feel secure and safe and loved, and that everything is okay, whatever happens. And she did little nudges here and there, like when I'd say I can't see the door and I would start to get frustrated, she would say, that's okay, it's okay, it's good, whatever happens.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of us realize, when you take away that lack of judgment
Mm-hmm.
that we experience every day, um, the world just becomes a more gentle place, and experiences um, can happen more. You know,
Mm-hmm.
things that we don't think we'll be able to experience, we can, just because we allow ourselves the room and the space to do that. And she did that for me. She allowed me the space to be frustrated, to be angry with myself, to be sad,
Wow.
to feel whatever I was going to feel.
Yeah.
And even in the world of healers, sometimes they can put a lot of judgment on you. So I think that is a quality that not all healers can facilitate, but she definitely did.
Yeah, I agree. She's very patient, and that's something that's really needed in an environment like this, because you're right. It can take a minute to figure out what it is you're seeing or feeling or hearing, and trying to put it into words is sometimes kind of a challenge. But she does tend to direct with the right questions and hold that space. So I agree with you.
Yeah,
Um,
I kind of felt like I was with a very dear friend lying on the beach, and we were just having this flow of energy back and forth. Does that
yeah.
make sense?
Oh, totally. Yeah. I love it. So it's almost like she was in your psyche. She just knew the right thing to say at the right time.
Mhm.
Yeah, that flow, that fluidity is just such a wonderful feeling. How do you feel the process was for you as a contributing writer with Rada Publishing House?
Ah, Um, wow. Being a writer and expressing my feelings and is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. I actually have it up on a vision board from like 2001 that I was going to write a book.
Love it.
So being given this opportunity was very scary and very exciting. at the same time, because you're not just writing something fictitious, you're expressing your soul.
Right.
And that can be pretty scary, especially in today's cancel culture, where somebody, is uncomfortable about what you say. They're done with you,
Right.
But for me, it's been just an awakening on a whole different level to because I think when we do this, we reach out to other people that are seeking this kind of help, but are scared, and to be able to share my experience, if that can bring somebody to an awakening for themselves and make them feel secure and safe, then that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So, I mean, what a blessing to be asked to be in this book and share my experience and have that little experience help somebody, because I know I'm not the only one that responds the way I do or thinks or feels the way that I do. And I'm just hoping that I reach somebody out there that needs to hear this.
Right. And you will, and it's all happening. I love that. That's so beautiful. Well, I'm so grateful that you're in this upcoming book. And if someone out there is looking to get a session by Maya, would you recommend the Infinite Cosmic Records as a form of healing for them?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Kory, thank you so much for your time today. We will be sure to link all the information down below on how you can reach Kory, Maya, and get a hold of that Infinite Cosmic Records.
Thank you, Danielle. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much.